Module 1, Summation. We're evaluating a series. A series is different than a sequence because it's a set of numbers that are being added together. When I look at this, I have 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11. Now I can merely type that in the calculator and have my answer that it's, to evaluate that series, that it's 36. Well, you can also use a formula. The formula is the first term plus the last term times the number of terms you have divided by 2. So if I add 1 plus 11, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms times 6 divided by 2. That gives me 12 times 3, which is again 36. I get the same value. A summation is adding up a series of numbers. Well, this can be written in a lot of different ways and in a lot of different ways that we can do things, but this is one method that can be used. We also will have it written using our sigma notation. Our sigma notation. This large sigma can be put into the calculator, but what this is saying is that I'm going to add up 9 terms. I'm going to plug in 1, get a value, then I'll plug in 2 and get a value, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, get those values, add them all up, and then that would give me my answer. Well, fortunately, our calculator is a marvelous tool and has some of this in it that we don't have to do it by hand. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Alpha and window. I'll go back and show you again. On my calculator, if I press the alpha button right here, I'm going to slide my calculator down a little bit. I got too high. Sorry. Alpha and the window. It brings up this set of from this menu to choose from. You'll notice this sigma is number 2. And it pulls up all of these places for us to fill in everything that's there on your problem. I like to just go ahead and use an X. I don't change it to an I. You can. From X equals 1, arrow up, to 9, arrow over. Now everything that's right here, all of this must be inside that parenthesis. And so I have to be very careful to keep all of that in the parenthesis. So it's -4 times 3. Use your caret to put it in the power. And again, I'm using the X minus 1. Arrow out. Now, all of that was on the inside. When I press enter, it will give me the value of this problem. The value of this particular geometric sequence, geometric series, because it's being added, is negative 39,364. Negative 39,364. And that's all I really need to do to find that value, is to put it in the calculator. Again, for this arithmetic sequence, the same thing. Because it gave me the sigma, I can go there. But you'll notice this one starts with our 4th term. So I could plug in 4, plug in 5, plug in 6, plug in 7, and plug in 8. I go to 8 because that's the number there on top. Again, to put it in the calculator, alpha, window, number 2. You can use an N. I'm just going to use the X equals 4. I'm going to arrow up to the top, put in my 8, arrow over, And remember, all of this must be inside that parenthesis. 7x minus 7. Arrow out, press enter, and my answer is 175. That's all you have to do for that problem. If they give you the sigma, you can use your calculator to figure it out. Well, I'm going to show you how to do a little bit more of it by hand. This is asking you, oops, sorry, it's off the screen. There we go. This is asking you to rewrite each series as a sum. Well, they want you to plug in the 3 and find the value. Then plug in the 4, the 5, the 6. So I'm going to do 3 times 3 squared plus 3. Well, that's 9 times 3 is 27, which gives me 30. So my first term is going to be 30. Then I've got to plug in the 4. Again, you can pull up your calculator and type it in if you so desire. To get your value of 51. Sorry, there's 51. I'm going to go ahead and write these out. Now again, I stop at 7 because it's the number here on top. I'm going to go ahead and put those in my calculator to determine what those answers are. This one I think is 78. Yep. $111. I guess I can. Oops, sorry. I dropped stuff. I apologize. There we go. Up and over. There we go. So now you can see them both. Equals 111. 3 times 7 squared. 49 times 3 plus 3 more gives me 150. Now to write this series as a sum, I need to write this with all of the addition signs in it. 30 plus 51 plus 78 plus 111 plus 150. That's rewriting each series as a sum. It didn't ask me to evaluate it, it just asked me to write it out. So that's what I have to do. Start with whatever they give you here on the bottom and go all the way to the one on top, write it out, and then list them. Okay? Evaluate each series as described. Evaluate, which means I need to give you an answer. Now I need 7 terms. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 3 more. Well, I could write them out, or I could write the summation. And I have to say, I do like using the sigma notation. If I do x equals 1 to 7, because I need to go to my 7th term, but now I need to write my formula. Well, I've got to decide if it's arithmetic or geometric. When I look at this and look at how I'm getting there, I see negative, positive, negative, positive. So my r has to be 4. This has to be geometric, and my r has to be negative 4. So I'm merely going to write my geometric equation, which, I'm going to pull this paper back up so that you can see it right there. A sub n is equal to a sub 1, negative 2, times negative 4 to the n minus 1. Now I'm using an x, the x minus 1 right here. Now you've got to be very careful to make sure all of this stays in the external window for your sigma. Okay, So when I type this in, let's see if I can slide this up and over. There we go. Let's move this out of the way. Alrighty. So alpha, window, number 2. Let's see, x equals 1, 2, 7. Now, here's where I've got to be careful. -2, parenthesis, -4, parenthesis, caret. See, I'm staying with inside this parenthesis. Everything has to be on the inside of it. X minus 1. Now I can arrow out, and this should give me my answer. Let's double check to make sure I typed it all in correct. There's my first term. There's my r, my power x minus 1. I think I'm good. I'm going to press enter, and I get -6,554. This adds up to -6,554. And that is how we do summation of series.